Have you ever wondered how many legal cases conclude without ever going to a full trial? Or what happens when someone facing charges decides to resolve their case differently? A plea bargain essentially means that a defendant agrees to plead guilty to a crime, usually in exchange for a lighter sentence or a reduction in the charges they face. This process replaces the uncertainty of a trial verdict with a more predictable and often less severe outcome for sentencing. The core reason plea bargains exist is to resolve criminal cases more efficiently and with greater certainty for all parties involved. From the prosecution's perspective, it guarantees a conviction without the time, expense, and risk of a full trial. For the defense, it allows the defendant to avoid potentially harsher penalties that could result from a guilty verdict at trial and provides some control over their fate. The specific terms, and thus the final sentencing recommendation, are heavily influenced by factors such as the severity of the original alleged crime, the strength of the evidence held by the prosecution, the defendant's past criminal record, and even the current caseload of the courts and the prosecutor's office. For someone considering a plea bargain, the practical steps involve thoroughly discussing the offer with their attorney, who will explain the original charges, the potential maximum penalties if convicted at trial, and the specifics of the proposed plea agreement. This includes understanding any recommended sentence, which might involve probation, fines, or a specific term of incarceration. The attorney helps weigh the risks of proceeding to trial against the benefits of the plea deal, enabling an informed decision about whether to accept or reject the offer. It is helpful to know that there are different types of plea bargains. A common one is charge bargaining, where a defendant pleads guilty to a less serious offense than originally charged. Another is sentence bargaining, where the defendant pleads guilty to the original charge but with the understanding that the prosecutor will recommend a specific sentence to the judge. A judge is not always bound by this recommendation but often gives it significant consideration, especially if it appears fair and serves justice. Once accepted by both parties and the court, a plea bargain becomes a legally binding agreement. Ultimately, a plea bargain serves as a critical mechanism in the legal system, offering a way to resolve cases with a degree of certainty regarding sentencing. It allows individuals to take responsibility for their actions while potentially avoiding the maximum penalties and the emotional and financial strain of a lengthy trial. However, it always requires careful deliberation with experienced legal counsel to ensure it is the right path forward for that particular situation.